WJBW is made possible by sausage. Stick one in your mouth.
I hear a little bit of feedback in the mic.
These charges are not mine.
Today's episode of the JB Webb Show is sponsored by Ashtray.
Maybe embellishing.
All right, I'm walking down the street now. I'm walking live here on the street. I'm going to see who I can find.
I need to hear the tambourine.
Do you want me to do the JB Webb Show? I spit on you.
You are not part of the conversation.
Do you? Do you really?
Thank you for holding, JB.
I'm listening.
Thank you for holding, JB.
Definitely a day job I don't complain about.
Gotta find out what's going on, what you're doing, what you're intending to do.
Love Shack, baby!
Juggernaut of rock action.
My baby understands that cigarettes are dangerous. The child reads avidly, backwards, in every language.
WJBW.
The electronics is so predominant that people would really prefer that.
Hell yeah, they do. Welcome back, JB Webb, in studio with my friend, co-host, and now scheduling interviewer, coordinator, content creator.
Good evening, everybody.
The
Michael
one and only
King.
MK.
And
how you doing? Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Where's the... I thought that was the applause. I'm sorry, I didn't get the applause, but welcome. We've been plugging along. We do this every Tuesday night. We get deeply involved into someone here that lives in Orlando or that can call us on the telephone. But we've been starting with this huge push for the in-studio guests. And as soon as Michael came on board, he said, listen, I got this guy. He sent me his stuff. So what did I do, Michael?
You said, let's go.
I said, wow. This guy's incredible.
Get him in here.
I said, get him in here. So that's exactly what Michael did. He got him in here. And that's who we're going to chat with today. It's the whole show.
We're very excited.
We're going to chat with Richard Johnson. He's here in studio. And welcome, sir. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're doing great, man.
We're good. I'm happy to have you here.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I'm pissed you got your haircut somewhere else.
What happened?
He was out of town. He was
What
out of town
happened?
making appearances. That's what he does.
Well, he's out of town. What are you're going to... Come on.
I'm only going to let it
He's
slide
out
this
of
time,
okay.
Rich.
All right.
Had to get
One
my hair
time.
did.
One time.
Mike wasn't there.
One time voucher for
I felt bad.
disloyalty.
Oh, Mike was here out of town. You're out of town.
Yeah, exactly. He was out of town. What are you doing, hushing this guy? Okay. Anyway, so we're going to talk about your art.
Yeah.
I like to call it that. That's what we do here is we interview artists, musicians, and activists. We shine a light on those well-deserving talents, those talented people, hair artists as well. You know, so one of our sponsors, the Art Army, is a huge proponent of the fact that everyone is an artist, and you seem like you'd probably agree with that. You're shaking your head,
Yeah.
Richard. Yeah,
Yeah.
You agree with that?
Absolutely.
All right, good. Now I got
All
both
kinds
of
of art.
swollen statements. So when we go into the whole sense of, it's the JB Webb Show, it's not about me at all. It's always about everybody else. So anyway, that's kind of the purpose of my show, and that's what we do here. So I'm glad everyone's joining us. We thank you for your time, and we're going to make the presentation now. If you'll go to your binders. No. Wouldn't that suck? Like a binder presentation through a show. Oh my God! Why am I listening?
I like that. I like
What am I
organization.
listening to? Yeah, you want a clip? You want show notes?
Yes.
I just write stuff on a board. That's not good enough.
You call that writing?
Yeah. Okay. It's like
I call it chicken scratch.
Yeah, like suicidal chicken scratch
Absolutely.
too. Like you can't even. What's happening? What's wrong with this person? Why can't he read? Because he's writing like a
I can't read it because
crazy person.
Because it's scribble.
You can't read that?
I can't read it.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
All right. So, are you gonna? You want to start the show? I mean, the show started, but do you
yeah,
wanna
we
start
started the show. Yeah, we're doing a little meandering now. You know,
Okay.
we're just meandering. How things been? Everybody been good?
We're good.
Good. Everything been going
So,
okay?
I got a question.
So yeah, what's your question?
I want to start with where Rich grew up. How old he is.
Perfect. Well, why don't we do this, Michael? Since you brought your friend in here, you know him a little bit better.
Yeah.
Why don't you?
I
kind of
already know these answers,
spearhead-
but I'm trying to.
Yeah. Well, spearhead the thing for me then. Let's get in and find out a little bit about our interview subject here. And
How old are you, Rich?
Michael, let's begin.
33.
Okay. Which sign?
Well, Pisces.
Okay. What are you doing in 2 days?
I am having
Just like-
my first ever art show opening.
Where's that going to be?
That's going to be
Okay. Why are you asking him every detailed question?
Because people are listening and they
Well,
want to be there.
It's going to be at the Orange Studio on Mills for Snap Orlando.
How much does it cost?
If you want tickets,
How
you
much
can come
does it
to
cost?
Twist Hair Studio and get them from me.
Okay.
I'll have them there.
Otherwise.
You just go on the website. I think it's Snap.
Yeah, they have it linked up to the Ticketfly or Eventbrite, I think.
Yeah.
So
And
you
it's
get
free. It's
signed
a
up
free
there.
event.
But what I love about what I saw that you do is that it's very it's something like you want to change it almost at the beginning because you know it's going to be like one of those dog commercials that tugs at your heart, and makes you change something. And it's totally not that. What I'm talking about, the YouTube video, it's totally not that.
Yeah.
But you sense as a person, you're like, oh, she's going to get me. And so I was watching it first time with Michael in here, and I was like, oh my God.
I cry
was
every
that
time.
It was just so profound. And if you have time, just go see the YouTube video. It's in the link of the blog post that I did the other day. So it's there. And it's a compelling video basically about how words affect people, how what one person calls another can have such a hard impact on that person. And to the point that you came up with this series, you were chatting with me, you spent a couple years, you were saying, you came up with this series of images. So let's kind of talk a little bit about Weapons of Choice. It's the art show that will be taking place at the Orange Studio this Thursday night. Give us a little flavor behind kind of how you came up with this, or give us an origin just on that.
Yeah. So I was driving in the car and I was listening to the radio and heard another report about bullying, and I thought, would we say these things to people if it left the same visuals as physical contact?
Right.
Right. So right there, I was like, oh, well, that's pretty interesting. Like what, that's kind of where the idea came from. And then it kind of, I was like, oh, well, I really don't know too much. We've all kind of experienced some sort of verbal abuse.
Yeah, you're not the authority, you're saying. You're not trying to go, oh, I'm I'm a PhD and bully.
So I wanted to do it right. I didn't want to, I think what would have been worse is if I tried to take it on and acted like this expert and knew everything about it.
Yeah.
The good thing about the series is that it took a life of its own. Every time I tried to control it, and my original intention, don't get me wrong, was to shock people. I just wanted to be that artist.
You wanted to wake them up a little. Like,
hey, I'm going to take little kids and put the most offensive words on them.
Right.
And that was the original idea. Was I was going to pick the words, and then I was going to put them on the subjects, and the subjects would have been models, right?
Okay.
So that sounds good, but what happens is because this issue touches so many people, I couldn't do that. They wouldn't let me. So when the subjects would come, they'd go, I'm like, oh, I'm going to put this word on your face. And they'd go, well, that's not my word.
Oh, wow.
And then I go, well, what's your word? And every time I tried to say like, well, that's not offensive enough for me.
So they were under the notion maybe they could come up with the word themselves or something.
Yeah.
And they were
that
identifying.
meant most to them. I got you. Okay. And then you were like, hey, I'm assigning you a word, or you wanted it to be collaborative, but then it sounds like you had to kind of.
I wanted to control the whole thing.
Oh, okay. But
when I first started, I put it online and I said, I need people between the ages of 8 and 19, maybe a couple adults. Here's the idea, a basic idea. And then people started calling me and saying, well, I was verbally abused.
Yeah, it resonated with them.
Or I was bullied. And originally it started as an anti-bullying concept.
Okay, yeah.
But then I thought, this is a lot deeper. These kids are learning how to bully somewhere. They're learning how to verbally abuse people somewhere else, right? So I wanted to turn it into this, I kind of say, it's not like an economic thing. It's not a racial thing.
Right.
It's a human thing.
This is a cultural thing. Yeah. It's not anything. It's just at a base level. Yeah.
It's everywhere. So, I did this year. Well, first before I reached out to people, I went online and I looked for authors that were experts in bullying.
Okay.
And wrote them and just said, hey, I need this, or could you help me out with this? Here's my concept. Would you be the expert behind it?
Okay.
Oh yeah, we love the idea. And then they just go silent and then nothing would come of it. So finally, I was just like, I'm just going to do it.
Okay.
I'm going to get people. I'm going to get my makeup artist friends. We're just going to do it.
Yeah.
And you know, Rich, what I find powerful about what your video shows and all of your photos show, and the show that you have in 2 days on May 7th, you say people immediately give attention to something physical, something they can see.
Yeah.
Right.
But what they leave out or what they don't think of or what most people don't even talk about is what leads up to it.
Correct.
And that's being called a faggot, dumb, ugly, spoiled, fat, four eyes.
Right.
Anything. And
Right.
and so and that was the idea is on TV you hear about these people who abuse children or abuse their wives or vice versa.
Right.
What you don't hear about is exactly what Michael said, what leads up to that. It's people choose to verbally abuse people before they choose to hit them. Mm-hmm. And I don't know the numbers because I'm a photographer.
Degrade, yeah.
But I guarantee you that most times that people are putting their hands on anybody, it started with some form of verbal abuse.
Right. They're not just punching them.
Right.
Yeah.
Like a total stranger.
Correct.
Yeah,
or even people.
You almost have to have the kin relationship to even have
Correct.
this much leeway in somebody's life, and there's all kinds of abuse, whether it's emotional, physical, mental, financial, there's plenty of kinds of abuse.
But we called it the weapon of choice because you choose to use that as a weapon.
I gotcha.
This is your weapon that people use and all of us are guilty of it. We've all done it. When I was at the series, my son came along and I was like, well, basically what we did when people showed up, we had a list full of words and we would say, here's the words, choose from this list or add your own word if it's not on there. So my wife was there with my son and I was like, well, let's just, let's pick one, let's see what's on this list. So I go down the list and I see little girl.
Okay.
And I specifically remember saying to my son, don't be a little girl.
I've heard it many times.
You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, no, you're right.
So now that I have a little girl, when I saw that on the list, I was like, wow, someone wrote this down as an offensive thing that they've been called. So how would my daughter feel if I'm telling her brother not to be something that she is? So we chose that. And that actually wound up being the most offensive photo that we had was little girl.
Yeah.
We had people writing us.
That's something, man. You just got me on that one.
Did you use Caden?
You can almost see that. It's like comes from a movie, almost itself in the. And
there were some bad words in there that I thought I was like, do I want to be this person that does this?
Absolutely.
But I mean, it was pretty eye opening. Everybody on the crew that was there, they all went in there thinking, all from different backgrounds. Some of them were you need to man up. Don't let people affect what, how you feel kind of thing,
right.
To the, I was bullied as a kid, to, it's really not an issue. And we all left there learning something, which is basically we know nothing about these bigger issues like we thought we did.
Yeah, and you can't even regulate it or control it. How do you regulate and control it? So I think what he does with, throwing up this roadblock of, hey, this is something. I think that's the way that you've come and put this weapon of choice show together. And I'm excited to go see it because it sounds incredible with all of these images. And you did a great job on the video. What I want to do is talk a little bit about that. And people, you can call in if you'd like to share any kind of story or anything like that, because it is a serious topic. So if you want to kind of participate with us, you can do that. It's 407-379-9529. But what I wanted to do is kind of go back and I wanted you to talk about weapon of choice. Mm-hmm. And then I wanted you to give us your background. I thought flipping it, I thought, let's hear about his background. But I thought, let's hear about the piece and then a little bit more about you. So, yeah. So where did you grow up?
I grew up in Lakehurst, New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Was it kind of a middle classy kind of neighborhood there? No,
it's it's a 1 mile square town.
Okay.
It's where the Hindenburg blew up.
Okay, I'm all right then.
And it's got a range of class, if you want to call it that.
All right. It's the spot left behind where the Hindenburg blew up. It's our town.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah.
But I grew up in a pretty poor situation.
Okay.
I have a bunch of brothers and sisters.
Okay.
So we grew up around all kinds of things, all
Yeah.
different types of abuse. My stepfather was very, very abusive, physically and verbally.
Yeah.
And it's amazing because we all, being from a large family, we all kind of handled it our different ways. I kind of left the house and would do my own thing.
How old or young were you in comparison to your siblings?
I'm the second oldest.
Okay.
So yeah, my older brother and then me.
And two under you.
No, there was
One under.
there's like 6 of us.
Six. Oh my gosh.
There's a lot.
Okay.
Lot of
Brady
us,
bunch.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So it's not easy to get ignored,
Correct.
or missed over or something like that.
Yeah, but I mean,
Try being the only child.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
They have
you
your
know what
sympathies,
it's with that wasn't the motivation behind this series though. And
and that's
know-
what I think is good is that it's ex parte of the show that's going to be coming up, but it's more about you.
Correct.
And it kind of gives us more insight into how this really
correct.
is.
And it's not difficult for me to talk about my past because I'm okay with it, but I don't have a victim mentality.
Right.
So I don't use it as a crutch. I kind of use it as a story that says, look, the thing is as I grew up, I realized that I thought I had this very unique tragedy that I could share with people to help them grow, right?
Okay.
And what I realized is that it's everyone else's story.
Yeah.
We all come from this
you
messed
go.
up background, most of us, right?
Yeah.
Or we know someone who did. It's just
Yep.
different characters. So it's the same thing, drug abuse, physical abuse, all different types of it. But I've never really used it as this excuse to do things. So my motivation behind this series wasn't exactly like, well, I was abused as a child, so I need to
But
to
still,
take this on.
there's a point where if you've gone through something and it's not necessarily healthy and you get out of it and you recognize it, and then you want to do something for other people.
Correct.
I mean, so that's what you're doing to me. So it's not using this as your backstory or the reasoning behind, but to hear more about your growing up and how this directly relates and how you actually had to have a large span of time to digest the whole thing.
Yeah.
And to be able to put out this great show,
Yeah.
Weapon of Choice, the Orange Studio, May 7th.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and when the series came out, we decided, we were going to give it away for free. So basically, any nonprofit that's asked to
really?
use this series has been able to, and it's been used probably
fantastic.
over a couple hundred nonprofits around the world.
Really?
It was really popular in Poland, Italy.
Wow.
We had everyone from social workers that would write us and say, hey,
It's like incredible.
we've got our social workers go out and they see the most, heinous crimes daily, and they get numb to these smaller things that lead up to these bigger things.
Right.
So can we use these as posters in our hallways to remind our
Great
social
point.
workers
Damn, that's
that,
powerful, man.
that these are,
Well, congratulations. That's incredible.
it's been the nonprofits around the world that have used it have really been appreciative that we gave it away for free.
Right.
And then we went up to DC and we spoke at the U.S. Senate for a UNAIDS event.
Wow.
And when I went up there, it was at first I was like, well, I don't understand why why this verbal abuse campaign has any connection to AIDS. And basically what they said was they've realized that there's a strong connection between the transmission of AIDS and abuse on women and children.
Really?
So if they can cure, if they can attack one of them, then it would help them eliminate the transmission of AIDS indirectly because they're eliminating this.
Okay.
So they took it on as a fundraiser.
Okay.
And that's
incredible.
That was pretty eye-opening to go.
Well, I mean, it's already been stretched and used in multiple scenarios, which again is brilliant in the essence that, my friend, it's more than someone seeing your painting 500 times, right?
Yeah.
You're helping through simple vision, and you're a graphic designer, I think you told me? Yep. That's fantastic. See, this makes even more sense. So were you artistic in your youth? Were you artistic when you were younger?
Yeah.
Did you kind of have a knack or a flair for technology or
I was
cameras?
always more traditional arts, painting, sculpting.
Oh, cool. Do you still do that kind of painting?
Not as much as I'd like to. That's for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'd be interested to see some paintings.
I'd love to get back into that it's all about time. So
Right, sure. Well, I think you're doing a great job. You're spending your time really well.
Yeah. Well, this was a pet project that I took on, and then I had some, one of my friends, Sean Vincent, who wrote the stories behind it. He kind of interviewed everybody. We had Doug Howard from Pixel 1080 come in, and he did the interview video that's on the site, and interviewed all the children and subjects that came in, which was a stronger part of the series.
Right.
When I did the series, I if you look at the rest of my work, it's a lot more elaborate and more epic.
Mm-hmm.
This series, I wanted to take a step back.
Okay.
There are, the photography community, this first launched on a photography website called F-Stoppers.
Okay. How long ago?
I think in 2013 they released it, right?
Oh, wow.
And it got ripped apart. The photographers hated it.
Oh, really?
Hated it. Oh man.
What do you
Hated it.
Dude. So
Yes, it's horrible.
yeah, well, and rightfully so. First
Was it
off,
different? It wasn't what we saw then.
Well, first off, it's very easy for people to say what they would and wouldn't do
Okay, yeah,
when they've
you're
done
right.
nothing.
You're right.
Right? So
Yeah.
that's just that community right now. So,
Okay, all right.
but from a portrait standpoint, from a technical standpoint, there were choices that I made in this series that you wouldn't make with a typical portrait. I allowed things, I literally sat them down and had no involvement with the subject until after they left from in front of the camera. I didn't fix their shirts. I didn't fix their hair. And the way they sat down was the way that I shot the picture. So if their necklace was crooked, those are all things as a photographer, as a portrait photographer, you would fix.
Right.
I made the choice to light it,
Let it be.
shoot it, and be done with it.
Right.
I didn't tell them to smile. I just said, sit down.
Oh, wow.
I didn't tell them to frown. I didn't tell them to do anything. It was 3 shots.
Wow.
They got up and left.
That's great.
And the first day we did about 27. And then we did a second shoot and there was an author in Canada who's releasing a book for verbal abuse and abuse basically amongst coaches and athletes.
Okay.
In high school situations.
Okay.
So we did a second shoot because she wanted something like that. But then we invited people in and we said, okay, we're doing another one. Here's, bring your words, or here's a list of words if you want to represent this. So it's been an experience, that's for sure.
So with that particular scenario, were they, the end product, I guess, what your show is on Thursday night will be a compilation of those shootings, or were there more involved?
It'll be a mix between the first shoot and the second shoot. So there's actually photos in there that haven't been seen yet.
Oh, okay.
So they're not even on the website yet. There's probably about 5 or 6 from the new one that came in. And actually, the second shoot, because I was so close to the first one, it didn't really affect me. Like I was almost like numb to it.
Okay.
So when I saw the words on there, I was just like, oh, it's a kid with these words on there. There's one photo that I had to tell the mom on the second shoot, I had to ask her to please take the makeup off this little girl's face.
Wow.
Because it was the one photo that I could not look. I still can't look at this photo to this day. And it's a really rough one to look at. So
take the excuse me, guys. Take the makeup off, meaning the makeup that you had for the shoe, or her
the word
makeup the girl came in with.
The makeup that we put on the little girl.
The word, whatever it was.
Yeah.
We have to wait for that.
Yeah, it was a rough one.
We can find out May 7th. We can't know now, right?
Yeah, it's not online.
Okay.
No, we can't know.
I put it online, and it's on. But it's
And where do we see this word on May 7th?
Bowling.
That one was for you, JB.
Oh, what now?
Orange Studio.
You got it.
Orange Studio. Go down there, May 7th. Bring on everybody.
It's free.
It is free, but Orange Studio, that's a cool little facility there on the corner of, what is that? It's down by, right before the Peacock Room and all that. But it's an orange
Mills.
building. You really can't miss it.
Big orange building, yeah.
Yeah, just past Hawker's restaurant there, I think. And that's a great, beautiful little facility. So let's do this. you guys want to talk a little bit more? I want to hear about his. I still want to hear about kind of your background.
Yeah,
your background. So you grew up, and then you moved here to Florida. How long you been here in Florida?
I moved down here. I moved down here when I was 18. Graduated high school. Moved down to go to Full Sail.
Okay.
Attended Full Sail for the year.
Wow.
That
and
you
were
attend Full Sail.
Yeah.
And then
it could only be a year.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You can get 2 years done in one kind of thing, right?
Yeah, it's
Is
like
that right?
13 months.
Okay, yeah.
5 a.m. classes.
Okay. Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's fun. And then I was about to move, and then I met my wife. And then I hung out a little bit longer, and then got stuck here.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
real nice.
Rephrase that maybe, but
yeah.
And then do you have children?
Yeah.
Wow. So you now have your own children.
Yep.
So you were about going through your teens. Sounds like you had a rough teen period. Would that be accurate? What occurred in that teen period for you, though? For you, was there? I mean, because when you're artistic and you're in your teens and you're kind of, people kind of go into one way or another. They want to, really, want to build. Oh, they have this interest. Or I've always struggled my whole life until I, kind of found
you're on the radio.
Until I can just talk. Until I realized I could talk, and then there could be money exchanged.
I can say this, that if it wasn't
Thank you for talking to me. Here you go, Joey. Here's your $5.
Okay, no, sorry.
If it wasn't for art, and if my fourth grade teacher, Mr. Cody, introduced us to real art.
Okay.
Clay animation.
Wow.
I got into that. That's what kind of sparked me wanting to be.
That's cool.
A filmmaker. If it wasn't for art and it wasn't for TV production in high school, I would have dropped out. There was nothing there to keep me there. It was like, I went to school to create, to do that stuff. So, and then a couple sports here and there, but for the most part, that was just to keep myself occupied and away from the house, so that I didn't have to go home and deal with that stuff.
Well, and I think in different regions and in different areas of the country, there's kind of this, maybe precedent of particular family attributes and, the culture of a family, a large family, especially. It can be very, you try to prove your self-worth almost within those situations. I mean,
I think it was more proving that I wasn't going to wind up how everyone thought I was going to wind up.
Okay.
So, I mean, that was motivation. I mean, we were expected to fail. I mean, there's very little, there was support from people who knew that you wanted to help yourself.
Right.
When I got to high school, I went to a really small high school, so probably graduated with like 200 people.
That probably really helped you at the end of the day, though.
It did.
I would say.
When I was 18, I got kicked out of the house while I was in high school.
Okay.
And then, my TV teacher.
What were you doing? What were you doing? Something crazy?
No, I wasn't doing it.
Tell us. Sorry.
I would.
I'm not. I was guilty.
Yeah, it was a tricky situation.
Wait.
Yeah. But I wound up having to go to court for this, but
we'll let it go.
Yeah.
We'll put that to bed.
Yeah. But anyway, it was, my TV teacher stepped up and said, "Hey, we're going to go ahead and let you stay with me and my, I have a home office. You could stay with me." So there was that support system there. I wasn't out on the street. The teachers there really cared. They paid for my prom ticket.
Wow.
They paid for my yearbook. They rented my tux for me.
Yeah, you kind of had the community. You were already pulling kind of the community together.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and hopefully there's still.
I
stuff
like to
like
hear that.
No,
well, I like to hear that because now talking about this show that you're doing, I mean, you really are all about driving the community to kind of be aware of something important, and it's very difficult. You even said, I don't know if we were on the air, but you said, somebody said on the air when you said, "Oh, don't do that like a girl to a boy."
Yeah.
So he said, and I was like, wow.
Little girl.
Yeah, you throw like a little girl or whatever it was. And I was like, oh my gosh, wow. That's just right there in your face, isn't it? That's everybody. You can see anybody saying that. The most, the pinnacle of a man, you throw like a girl, I mean, and it's that though.
Yeah.
It's that chiding.
Well, because you're saying it as if it's a bad thing. You're saying,
right,
you throw like a girl.
Right, you
and
want it
that's
to
not
demean.
good.
Right.
So don't do that.
Well, that one little statement could stay with them for life.
Or
it really can. Or you run like a girl.
I'm the first NFL quarterback.
Jesus, Mary Joseph.
All right.
Thought I run
couldn't do that? No.
I think the hardest part too with this series was trying to ask people to put these words on their face.
Right.
You
Okay.
know what I mean? Like,
what's that like?
When we first
queer.
launched the series, the first call that we put out, we had a mom contact us whose, I think, son has Down syndrome, and right off the bat, I'm like, this is going to be good, right? This is going to be really good. So I had said, instead of me just coming out, it was really hard for me to say, hey, do you mind? Because everyone knows the word that we don't want to say.
Right.
So I said, is there a word that sticks out to you that, your son is called that you would think? And of course, she said the R word, and she was like, that's a big one. And I said,
what's that?
What's what?
The R word.
Retard. So she said, she basically said, I understand what you're doing, but I don't think that I can do that to my son. Right. So, I respected that. And I said, I totally agree. And that's actually, on the second shoot, we actually had a little girl come in, the mom, and that's the one that's the tough one.
Yeah, the
man.
touching one.
That's the tough one. That was
where they did do it, and they did well. And I think it's when people go see the show or they go online. And what's your website? Spectaclephoto.com. Spectaclephoto.com to get a great, really good kind of sense of. You got a wide, what's that called? A width, breadth. A wide stroke?
Yeah.
No, okay.
Yeah.
What is Michael? What are you doing?
I'm just. I'm looking at
He's
Rich. I'm
staring at
watching.
me.
Yeah, I'm staring at Rich. He's just so handsome. No, I'm intrigued. This is why he was first on my list. Other than Jill Haggerty of Twist Hair Studio.
Sure.
This is why Rich was first on my list, because he's extremely interesting and smart.
Yeah. Well, you and you must be one hell of a dad. I'll say that. You love those kids, I bet, don't you?
I'm working on it.
How many kids do you have, you said? One,
two.
Two. How old are they?
I have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, almost 2.
So you've just gone through the 5-year. Yeah, that's going to be fun. Well, that's good, though. That's a good split, that 3-year, right? The brother and sister, and the boy and girl?
Boy and girl, yep. Boy's older.
Oh, wow.
Caden
And
and Kylie.
Well, that's fantastic.
They're a lot of fun.
They sound awesome.
She likes to dance to Little Baby.
Yeah, they sound really cool.
We were dancing last photo shoot.
Well, they have a good dad. Well, and hats off to you, man. You've really everything I've seen about you, everything I've looked up about you is just incredible, stellar. And if it wasn't for him, I might not have been able to meet you. Might not have been able to see this work, and that's why I was like, hell yeah, bring that guy on here because the topic is amazing. You don't think about it. We like to be jokey.
I don't know what you're
most
talking
of the time
about.
as much as we can, and
He's
be
a
silly.
liar.
But I think I think what you're doing is very important, and I think the results you've already seen. So you're already here, kind of successful to me. It's not that you have just one art show.
Well,
coming up.
and it's the subject matter, right? So it's something that everyone relates to. When I spoke at the UN, it was. I said to him, I ended it with...
Wow, you spoke at the UN.
Well, it was for UN AIDS. It was at the U.S. Senate.
Okay, but you were there. So So
yeah.
what was that a little bit about?
That was for the UN AIDS event.
They were like, hey, we want to bring you here. Right.
Yeah, so they featured all the children photos.
That gave you the really stepping stone, right?
Well, that was at the end of last year.
Okay. So that was...
So basically what happened was we launched it on F-Stoppers, and then the Huffington Post called me. They picked up the story.
Fantastic.
And then it just spread like wildfire from there. And then I had to stop reading comments online because I felt like I needed to put bruises on my face. These people were ripping it apart.
Oh.
But what was cool...
You mean there's people bashing it? Like...
Yes.
Okay.
And understandably, because
like everything. Like everything, though.
Yeah, but...
Oh, yeah.
Everybody.
I guess
it's all about perspective, right? Mm-hmm. So people who sit there and say like, you let people don't let people control you. Don't let people do this to you, right? I used to be that way with bullying where it was like, well, kids are being kids. Kids are doing this. Kids are doing that, right? What we don't understand is that by us telling kids to grow up and and deal with it because it's horseplay. We're asking children to deal with something that we wouldn't deal with as adults, right? If someone were to walk up to you and smack your lunch out of your hand and call you a name, you would call the cops or punch them in the face, right?
Right.
Like it wouldn't happen.
Right. Well, you would do something to defend
Correct.
yourself in some way.
You don't know.
So-
what,
You wouldn't
know what
take
I'd
it.
do.
You wouldn't take it.
Correct.
You
So
wouldn't
at
take
work, we call it harassment, but on the playground, we call it horseplay.
Ah.
We're asking children to
Good
do
point.
something that they can't comprehend, and the schools either overreact or they don't react at all, right? So there's they don't know what to do with this stuff. We had one girl come in who she came in because her mom said that she was bullied online. We put the word on her face, and then she said, we interviewed her and we asked her, why did you pick this word? And she's like, well, I've heard other people be called this word. And we're like, well, were you called this word? And she's like, no. So I stopped the interview and I went up to the mom and I said, hey, I thought you said that she had been called this word. She's like, oh, she has, but she's embarrassed to talk about it. She's like, but I'll talk about it. So she came in and she said, I know what people think. I'm this overprotective mom who pulls their daughter out of high school for being called, or middle school for being called a word. She's like, but what actually happened was I brought this to the school's attention. And when we went to talk to the school principal, he said, yes, that girl is a known bully. Your daughter has to sign this document stating that if she gets into a fight with this known bully, that she's responsible because she didn't walk the other way.
Oh my God.
And she goes, well, is the bully going to sign this document? And they go,
Right.
no, because we don't want to bring it to her attention.
Oh my God.
Because then she'll pick
so
on her
they're like
more.
putting a flag on her saying, here,
So-
you have to sign a.
So now the
sense.
victim of this bullying is now responsible contractually
for the bullying.
for the bullying.
Right.
So she
That's
said,
ridiculous.
no, I'm taking my daughter out of school.
She has to sign a contract.
Right? Yeah.
I agree. I agree to get bullied.
ridiculous, Papa.
So
That's crazy.
And that was just, every single kid who was bullied that was in this series
Yeah.
denied being bullied
Okay.
on
Really?
camera, would not talk about it. And every single one that had seen bullying denied ever seeing it.
Really?
So what I realized at the moment, most people think there's the bully or the offender, and then
the
there's
bully.
Right.
there's the victim, right?
Right.
But there's a third person involved with all types of abuse, and that's a witness. And the only person that has that control to do anything about this is the witness.
Yeah.
Is the witness, because the bully's not going to fix himself, and the bullied isn't going to stand up or has no power to.
They can't rally together.
So
Yeah.
the only person that has the power to do anything is the witness. And we need to stand up and say, hey, all of us are saying this stuff. Now, here's the thing. Like, me and my buddies, half of those words, we call each other joking around, right?
Sure.
So the point of the series isn't the word. Like, people focus on the word.
Right.
It's not the word. It's the intention. It's who's saying it. The word has no power.
And how it's being said.
Correct. So if I were to, call my friend stupid, he knows that my intention isn't to hurt him.
Right.
But if I were to call my son stupid,
Right.
it's different. It's
Yeah,
the same
way
word,
different.
right?
Yeah, way different.
So it's when you look at the series, don't look at the word, look at the intention. Look at who said that to them.
Yeah.
There was a
That's a second goosebump round I got going today. Man.
there's a lady with trash on her neck.
Okay, I
she
saw
wrote
that,
trash
yeah.
on her neck.
Yeah.
And when we interviewed her, she said, we were like, why'd you pick the word trash? And she said, well, because I tried to be like trash. Because trash had a place to go, it got picked up.
Oh my God.
So she didn't pick a word that she was called. She picked a word that she tried to be.
Unbelievable.
So it was
chilly.
And that's the thing is, when people are like, hey, what should people do if they're in a situation like this? And like I said before, jokingly, you shouldn't call a photographer. You should call someone and get help. You should talk to someone, a professional. And, I am a photographer in this situation.
You're not a psychologist?
I'm not a psychologist. I am a photographer with just like everybody else, my own experience with some form of abuse, right? But you should find help. You should talk to someone. you shouldn't tolerate it. That's for sure. Yeah. And the only way that these problems are going to get solved is by talking about it. Because like you said before, there is no way to regulate this.
Right.
There's no way to regulate, people calling their kids names. But if you talk about it, because like I said, I didn't even know that I was saying this stuff to my son until I saw it on the list.
That's crazy.
And I wasn't doing it in a mean way.
I know.
But it was just me saying,
wow.
Don't be a little girl. Stop being a little girl.
Yeah. That whole little piece. That's what I'm saying. That's to anybody out there. That's like the most profound. That gets through the most. So that's the next thing is figuring. How does that? What do you want to keep doing with this? What are your goals and plans? Are you doing a new project? You're going to kind of keep moving along with this one. I think you got quite a bit of momentum left in this thing. I mean, of your cause. You're an activist, really. You're an artist. So it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Yeah.
I want to throw people to his website, spectaclephoto.com. And
I just tweeted the video, the Weapons of Choice video from YouTube. At the Prom King Kong is my Twitter, and I just tweeted it.
Good. All right,
I've included both of you.
So what I was trying to get to before was, when I spoke at the U.S. Senate, I said, I ended it with, as an artist, I'm honored that so many people relate to this series, because that's what you want as an artist. You want that people to relate to it. But as a human, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing that so many people connect to this thing.
Well, you want to shrug it off and say it's not. No, it's
you
not.
Want to forget about
it doesn't mean that. And you convince yourself that it doesn't. So then there again, you have to rely on someone like you to kind of be the siren. To say, hey, this occurred. It happened to me. It happened to you. It happened. I mean, I can think of multiple instances that I probably said the wrong thing to the wrong person.
Yeah, it's very bittersweet too when people write me and they say, oh my God, I was in this situation at my house, or I was in this situation with my boyfriend or my husband or my father or whatever. And thank you so much for making this series. And it's tough to come up with a response because, I really feel for people when they say that. But, last week we got a message through our Facebook that said, after 9 months of this, I left and I got away and I'm free now. So,
wow.
And I don't even know what that means. But I know
do
that
they mean
someone's
9
free
months of
abuse
of some kind of weird situation.
It was there was no previous
and they were a
message.
grown up.
Yeah,
right. Because this can still happen in grown up world, right? Driving down the road. Oh my gosh, driving down the road. A good thing those other people can't hear you half the time, right?
On the road again.
I guess that's your safe zone now.
When I watch your video, I don't. I truly do tear up every single time. Sometimes I cry. It depends on how many glasses of wine I had. But, I really do tear up and maybe have one or two drop down, And it's not because I can relate, although I can, but I've come to terms with that. I've come to terms with being called a little girl or a faggot or stupid. I've been called all those my whole entire life. Just recently, but they don't.
On my way here.
Well, Mike, I had called you for the first series, and I was like, "Hey, Mike,
oh yeah,
is there anything you were called as a kid?" And you're like, "No."
I don't believe that. I would
a faggot.
Actually, I really did want to wear that word.
Yeah,
for you. I'm sorry that I didn't get to. No. I believe that you did photograph it.
I did, yeah, but you and not because I think you are, but you were the one that I had in mind for that word.
Yeah,
because I just from talking to you, I was like, "Hey, this would be the word that Mike would."
Well, yeah, because when you know Michael, he's not going to take. No, he's not going to take it.
You better not say that.
He's not going to take it.
No,
he's like
right.
the guy
You're
from Twisted
right.
Sister. What's his name? D. Snyder.
I'm the
he just
witness
looks like D. Snyder. He's
I'm the
you're not
witness
going to
who
take
speaks
it.
Up. I'm the witness who speaks up.
Correct.
I just got followed for 7 miles by some crazy Northeastern person. I only know she's from the Northeast because I am. And she's being real rude to the guy at CVS. She's saying,
"What do you mean? You work at CVS and you don't know how to work the photo machine? How do you not know how to work the photo machine? You work at CVS. It's the CVS photo machine."
And I said, "Hey, doesn't pay to be a bitch." And she followed me 7 miles, screaming, beeping her horn, like throwing change at the car. I mean, she went ballistic, because I called her out on being mean. Anyway, the word faggot, yeah, that's a tough one.
That's where it's at.
But when I watch the video, I cry because I remember saying those mean things to people. So I'm crying for the people that I hurt when I was a kid. I'm not crying what I was called, you know?
Huh. That's interesting.
Is it?
Yeah. I never thought of it that way.
Interesting.
Well, you know, it's funny because years later, I've got people who email me on Facebook, and they're this one dude. His name is, I don't even know his name. I forget his name because he's not that important. But you know, he used to rip me apart. I don't remember what he said. I don't remember at all. I couldn't even take a wild guess. But I know that he bothered me a lot, and he emailed me to say he was sorry.
Yeah.
And then he sees my pictures on Facebook, and wow, it seems like you did pretty good for yourself, bro. And I just want to say I'm sorry for being so brutal.
That's cool.
So I had this experience when the first time
cool.
I took my wife, she was my girlfriend at the time, up to New Jersey to visit. We went into a Wawa, and there was a kid there he was working there, and I had known him when I was a kid, and he lived down the street from us.
Okay.
And he recognized me, and he comes up to me and my girlfriend, and he's like, "Hey, Richard, remember me?" And I was like,
what?
"Yeah, how's it going, Justin?" He goes, "Remember you used to beat me up?" And I was like, "Well, I didn't beat you up. Like, you know, my cousin used to bully him, right?
Okay.
But I didn't do anything about it, right? So he just associated, and I might as well have beat him up because I didn't do anything about it, right?"
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Yeah, I'm grown now, and I could take you. You want to go outside?" And I was like, "Well,
What the hell?
Justin, you know."
We just clearly established it was not me.
Yeah, I was like,
What
you
do
know,
you-
I'm really sorry that you feel that way. And the manager came up, and he was yelling at me in this store, and in front of my, you know,
He carried it his whole life.
That's hilarious.
yeah. And
Oh my god.
and
He saw you and he's like, "No, I'm badass enough to take him out."
Look at me, I'm
Wow.
muscle.
and he was like, you know, "I'm gonna get you back." And the manager came over. He's like, "You did. You got him back, dude. Like, let it go." And I got in the car. My girlfriend was like, or my wife, she's like, "What the hell was that?
And you're like,
What
back
is
in
that?"
your-
And I was like, "I can't believe that. Like, I totally deserve it because I didn't stand up for him.
Yeah.
I let it happen."
Yeah. And that's the biggest thing. I think that your show kind of said, you know, a weapon of choice. There you go. What's
Yeah.
the show about? And you get a little glimpse. You watch that YouTube video. We're privileged enough to be in Orlando, Florida, so you can go right down Mills Avenue to the Orange Studio, 7 o'clock or 6, 7. What's the reception?
It's at 7.
7? Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought. I read. But it is catered by Snap Orlando, and Snap's presence here in Orlando is great. They've really kind of helped promulgate, if that's a word. Is that a word? Anyway, develop and grow the photography society of culture kind of here, and
Correct,
you know, placing the importance on that, and having studio space dedicated to it. So Snap Orlando, great proponents.
Snap's been awesome. They've
great stuff.
They've been very, very supportive and very very hands-on with it. So they're,
Great.
you know, I'm sure there's easier artists to deal with, and when you got a million things going on, they really help you and kind of carry the series. So, you know, Patrick Kahn is the guy who runs it with his wife, and it's an awesome thing
incredible,
they're doing,
yeah.
and I'm honored. I mean, the work that goes with Snap, I've always
Right.
been like, I need to be in Snap. How do I get
How
into
does
Snap?
this happen? Yeah.
I didn't think it would be for something like this, but I'm not complaining. So it's good because
Well, it's important. It's important. People, you know, I mean, I think it was worthy of talking a whole show about it, you know, because it's, you know, besides your background and who you are, you do represent this, this particular piece of information very well. You're very well versed on it. And, I'm glad to have made your acquaintance.
Yeah.
I'm happy you got him in here because this is we don't go so hard topic-y, you know, we get into people, but I mean, my emotions have gone up twice tonight. You know, I grew up in upstate New York and for a portion of my life, and that was like just a part of it, you know. Hey, look at that guy over there.
Yeah,
you know, and it's like you're always just making, oh, okay, whatever, we need to poo, you know. It's, you know,
Sure.
you're that's how you're kind of able to, you know, deflect and bullshit comes off you, and you know, you can push stuff away, and but there's a lot of stuff you can't. You know, that doesn't hurt me, but it does.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, there's no there's no daily cleanse for that.
Yeah.
You know, and it may be especially as a kid, you need to find that, you know, and that's where kids kind of put their energies into, you know, good things or bad things. But really, I think this work, and especially having the broad stroke appeal all across society, you know, and into the workplace and into athletics and into, I mean, my God, it goes everywhere, you know, where you have a common bond with somebody. And you can use that nagging and that little, you know, sarcastic or, you know, not even meaning it harmless or harmful. You know, your intention is not harmful, but it can come across bad. So you've given us a lot to think about.
Yeah.
So
well, that's what it should do. You should just think about it. I mean, and Michael calling the lady at CVS, you know, a bitch is different than a dad calling a daughter a bitch, right?
So, definitely.
So
no, for sure.
you know, it's not that I'm trying to cure people calling each other names. It's that
makes sense. I understand.
You know,
Even though I did.
Well, I mean, it's
you act like a bitch, you get called a bitch.
Okay.
Well, but it's the person doing it. So it's, you know, you don't want to hear it from people who you think or who love you or care for you or, you know, so.
Yeah, that is true. It is true. So spectaclephoto.com, best way to find out about your stuff. What kind of things you got planned next? What can you share with us? What are you working on something new or? And then we'll break into a little bit of news. You stick around and do some news with us?
Yeah, sure.
All right, hang on. All right, cool.
Yeah.
So what kind of things do you want to do next? What's on your agenda?
So right now, you know, we're gearing up to open up a studio, probably in Sanford on First, and then we're going to go ahead and start, you know, offering portrait sessions and stuff like that to get things going, and then still do the pet projects. I think, you know, the key is to keep learning, keep growing.
Right.
My photography is not where I want it to be, and you know, I have that artist complex where I'm never satisfied with it.
Yeah.
Which is a blessing and a curse in the same breath. But you know, we'll definitely take on new projects. There are other projects that we have in mind that are kind of, you know,
you don't have to spill the beans or anything now, you know, of course. And
well, they're all visual concepts, so over the radio it wouldn't look too good or sound too good, but yeah, it's we've got a bunch of stuff going on. We're always trying to stay busy, and these pet projects are where you really learn the most. So, you know, if I had advice for other photographers, it would be do pet projects. You know, come up with a concept and just do it.
Yeah.
You know, 90% done or 60% done is better than zero. Right. So, you know, just get it done, get going. And then, you know, nonprofits out there, there's artists out there that want to help, and that can, you know, they may not be able to donate, you know, financially, but they can volunteer their time, and, you know, something they produce could have a big impact.
And they use it all across the board. Now we are getting some feedback. What do the people want to know here? A little bit more about your background. Is that what it was? I'm getting lost on the question about the show. Didn't ask.
Ding
is that
dong.
What? Is that what you want?
Yeah.
I don't understand what that means.
Oh,
from the video. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I think during our break we should let the listeners hear the video.
Okay.
Even though they can't see it, they can watch it. If they click on, you know.
Oh, I got you. Okay, I'm so sorry. He's looking at me. Don't give me that look. I'm so
giving
sorry.
it to you.
I couldn't understand what you were. I mean, you got a board right there.
I'm your co-host. We're supposed
you
to
write
have
chicken
we're supposed
scratch
to have
on the board over there.
That's
All
your
right.
writing.
And why didn't you just text it to me?
I have been.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Oh, horrible. I can't see it.
Unbelievable.
Right. Unbelievable. Bad host. What a bad host. What do people want to know where he grew up? What
Thanks
was
for
it?
tuning in to the Michael Show, everybody.
MK just took out the whole thing.
It's mine.
All right, now I'm your co-host. What can I do to help you?
Hey, so what did they say? So where'd you grow up again? In New Jersey. Where they blew up the Hindenburg.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that what they wanted to know?
You're from New York again, you said?
Hindenburg?
Hinton boy.
Tuna fish, Hindenburg, tuna fish. It's my favorite show today.
I don't even know what that is.
Anyway, well, you are listening to WJBW and the JB Web Show, we call it. MKJB sitting in over there. Richard Johnson, the main interview guy, studio guy. He's got a Weapon of Choice show coming up here just in a couple days. You nervous?
No.
Of course not. Of course not.
They're big, man. It's big prints, like 32 by 48.
Yeah.
They're massive.
They're
They're
big
almost
prints. It's a big
life
production.
size.
You got any head start on the hangings, or everything's
Nope,
all locked and
day
loaded?
of.
Oh my god!
Day of, yeah.
Oh, up and down in the same day.
And then we have a
Oh,
we have a
my
nonprofit
goodness.
coming in, the Zebra Coalition. They're coming in.
Oh,
and they're
what are they
they're-
about? What do they do?
You can take a look at their website. They're like a advocate, and they for bullying and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, let me pull up this video here. We're going to play a little bit of this. Now, you're not going to be able to see the images, right? So it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. Is that what I should do? Monk with a camera. What? Anyway, let me press a button here because I don't know what the hell's going on. Hold on. Good goobly gobbly goobly. Welcome back. Breaking news badly. We had a great in-studio interview there. Anything not get said? Anything not get said? Want to say anything? I figured we'd wrap it up before 8 o'clock here. Spent about an hour doing the show.
Oh, you tired of us?
No.
You tired of me?
I just don't know. I mean, I have this one news story. We're going right into
Only
news.
one.
I mean, I could play his thing, but then I thought it's not as good. I want people to see it, not just hear it.
All right, well, it's
You
tweeted.
see what I'm
We're
saying?
going to all tweet it again.
All right, we'll tweet it again then. I'm up for that. But I wanted to do news. I found a really cool news story that is kind of geeky music news. But this is from, where is it from? KATC.com, which is a news channel. And they say, new project in U.S. South promotes music triangle: blues, jazz, country, rock and roll, gospel, southern gospel, Cajun, Zydeco, soul, R&B, bluegrass. 9 of America's most well-known music genres now have their own roadmap. A group of preservationist historians and music lovers have come up with the American Music Triangle, stretching from Nashville to Memphis to New Orleans. So you got a little 1, 2, 3, and you can see how it all goes back, and encompassing points between. The triangle includes locations that contributed to the birth of the musical genres in the U.S. South. What do you think of that?
I don't really care.
You don't care about that story?
No, I didn't even listen to you.
Okay, you was blocking me out.
No, I was tweeting.
You was blocking
I was
me
tweeting. I was reading about Spectacle Photo.
But to whom? To whom was you tweeting?
To whom? I was tweeting to my fans.
You try to tweet all the time.
I tweet to all my fans. I have a lot of them. More fans.
Do you like
more
Southern
fans and
music?
friends.
You don't like what kind of music? You don't like bluegrass and all that stuff, man?
Who's that?
Bluegrass. Who is that?
That's ornament.
Oh my
that's
God.
an
What
ornament.
rapper is that?
Who is bluegrass?
I got bluegrass as ornamental,
Is that-
decorative pieces in my garden.
They like Wiz Khalifa.
I've got ornamental bluegrass in my garden.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, you should see my garden. It's really nice. I got every plumeria in the state.
Plumarian.
Plumeria. Yeah.
What the hell is that?
I steal them.
What are
From
they,
people's
plants?
yards. No, it's a plant. It's native to Hawaii.
Why
It's
do
what
you-
they make lays out of. It's
Tropical?
a flower. Are you
Oh.
listening to me? Do you hear me? They make
Tropical plant.
Yeah.
Okay. So it
I
actually
think it's a
flowers.
cactus.
No,
Oh, it
it's not a
is?
cacti.
think it is.
Tree. It's a
Cacatee.
tree.
Cacatui?
Look at it
Could
right
be
now.
a
Plumeria tree
cacatui?
plant.
It's a Mary tree plant. What?
No, it's
What do you say?
Plumeria tree.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I'm telling you. Look,
So I think
he's
it's
looking it up.
well. Anyway, so through Nashville, I think it's good. Living on this side of the country, I think it's really good that they've done this music triangle. So again, that is a news story on the musical stuff out there.
Story.
All right, I know. I liked it a lot, though.
What was it?
Anyway, so you want me to do something now? Want to play something?
Yeah.
Want me to find a song?
Yeah.
Should I find a song and
I
then
want
you want to come
play,
back?
I want you to play a song.
What do you want?
I want to, take a little break. I want to come back.
okay.
I want to say
Alright.
goodbye.
Okay.
And we're going to let everybody know where to find us, where to catch us, where to hear us, where to listen to us, and where, more importantly, where to look at us.
Hey, what about one of our newest sponsor friends of the world? Tell us a little bit about twisthairstudio.com.
Twisthairstudio.com. Well, we're in Orlando, College Park. Twisthairstudio.com. If you want to look me up, you're going to do a / and type in Michael King after twisthairstudio.com. Jill Hegarty.
What do they do there?
Well, I'll give you one guess. At Twist Hair Studio, we do hair.
Yeah. I saw you put out
We
a thing
hang
with
art.
a color. You did some color on this guy, right? I saw that.
What guy?
I don't know. This.
Oh, I posted it.
Yeah, a guy with a beard or something.
Men's color.
Yeah, you were like, here you go.
Yeah, you want it to look natural.
There you go.
No, but actually, Twist does feature different artists every 6 weeks. Although the ones that we have in there,
Yeah,
right
like
now, a little
in-house?
stale. We've had them for a while, but yeah, a little stale. But you know, Rich's stuff is up there, and
Oh, it is
yeah, you can pick up prints
at the studio.
at Twist Hair Studio.
Really? Oh, is it really? Why is he laughing so hard?
Who's
Because
laughing?
the way he said it.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure it's true.
It is true.
It will be
listen.
tomorrow.
It will be tomorrow. That's hilarious.
Yes.
Okay, so let me find something here, buddy, so we can have a little break. Is that what you want?
Yes.
All right, yeah, that's what he wants, a little break.
Would I have to write it out? Maybe
simple-
not. You won't understand.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get your messages. I don't know why. Okay, a little bit of Uncle Bibby. We'll be right back.
glistening skin. Look at my glistening skin.
Oh yeah, welcome back. How you doing? Welcome back. How's that? WJBWnetworks.com is the site you can go to if you'd like to find out a little bit more about what we do. We're proud to tell you about streetjelly.com. It is for online busking. If you don't know what that means, you can look that up. It's a safe term to Google search, I guess. Online busking. It's basically playing on the internet street highway for money. It really happens. Streetjelly.com. It's so cool. So you set up a little camera, you play your little music, people tip you digital little coins. It's badass.
Cool.
Streetjelly.com. Loverino.com. Special consideration. We want to point them out. They're a backing up source. They archive all of our episodes, and they can help you too if you have content you don't want to lose forever. Loverino.com, and of course twisthairstudio.com, artarmy.org. And we're sitting here in studio with Richard Johnson and our ever patient, very compelling, interesting new friend, MK.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, welcome.
I'm
How you
being
doing?
patient.
I'm
holding back.
Fantastic. You're doing great.
I'm
job.
holding back.
I could tell.
You know, I just want to make sure.
You let him speak.
that,
No, you did.
you get the show.
You're doing it. I can't believe every week you pretty much let people speak. I'm just amazed.
Well, it's not. I'm the
I thought you were going to
co-host.
interrupt
I'm not
him.
the guest. I'm not the guest. I'm the co-host. It's a different. It's a different story. If you
So
want
we were trying to come-
interview me.
we were trying to come up with a bit.
If you want to interview me every week, I'd be my guest. No,
Oh well, all right. Well, basically, that's what's going to happen.
And we're back.
Here's what I want to do: is what about is this an okay bit? If for him to say, I don't know, and you're going to have to come up with something every week, but I want you to come up with something like a red flag, like your do's and don'ts, maybe, or this is good, this is bad. Ish don't think so. I like some observation maybe
we
you
should
make
just-
each week.
Look, Harriet,
This valuable,
look,
we're losing some
look what
kind
I'm
of
doing.
valuable insight from your precious human brain there.
It's my precious.
Look what I'm doing.
Well, I know.
I can't help it.
It's
I'm a
you
rock
doing
star.
it.
I think that we should have like a shoot in the shit.
He's holding the
15.
microphone like he's Led Zeppelin.
Down the great road.
Get a picture of this
All right.
for our fans.
Okay. All right. But please continue talking since we're an audio only show.
I just want the photo. I think that we should have a 15-minute or shooting the shit kind of thing.
What? Shoot your shit. Okay,
Like-
just like a free for all.
A free for all. A free falling. So
Fantastic. All right. Well, I got a couple. You get a couple?
spectaclephoto.com.
I don't know how I did. Oh.
May 7th, Thursday, at the Orange Studio. That's
Yeah,
where we're gonna be.
That's exactly right.
JB and I will be there. All of Twist Hair Studios staff will be there.
I have to run across the street after that and try to help those guys with the Under the Influence night at Will's Pub.
You mean we have to?
Oh, you're going to go with me? All right, let's go.
Okay.
All right, well. Anyway, so that's what we'll be doing. We're going to go check this out. Orange Studio. You okay?
I'm good.
So, Richard, you've been a very good, informative. Did I just snort there?
Maybe. I didn't
think
hear
so.
it.
Peppa Pig.
Wouldn't be weird.
Welcome back, Peppa Pig. It's easy to make mistakes. So easy. Anyway, a little
That's what
too
we
easy
do. That's what we
sometimes.
do.
All right. Well, let's talk to Richard here. Richard, you're an interesting guy. What's your take on who's going to win the election next year? Or where do you stand on your party?
Probably
views
the
there?
wrong person.
Probably
The wrong person will win.
Yeah.
Whoever raises the most money.
Isn't that crazy?
Yep. We, it's. I just realized the other day we're worried about how much money Hillary's nonprofit discloses,
Right.
and we don't care whether these political nonprofits disclose any money.
Yeah.
Who's Hillary?
Well, I think the most important Hillary Clinton.
Oh.
Oh my God. Yeah. So, anyway.
Did I throw you for a loop there?
Yeah,
Sorry,
you really
guys.
did.
I
That
didn't
was
know who
really
Hillary
funny.
was.
I was trying to think of that show
Love that name.
back in the 90s that had that Hillary girl. Oh, it's the Fresh Prince. Oh, was that girl?
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
If that daughter was named
That's
Hillary,
right,
but
that's
maybe
right.
no, you don't even know.
Yeah.
You just
Of course,
you just
Fresh
agreeing
Prince of
with me to be
Bel-Air?
agreeable. Okay.
Hillary.
Andrew Dice Clay must be incredibly crazy when he cries.
Little boy.
Imagine
little
Andrew
boy.
Dice Clay like legitimately crying. I mean, it must sound incredible.
Unfortunately,
I would
I'm too
love to
young
get
for
that
that
audio.
one. I'm too young
I'd
for
love
that
to get
one.
that audio. Oh, you don't know who Andrew Dice Clay
I
is?
know who he is, but I don't know.
Oh,
him
that's
that
the
well.
generation gap. I forgot. How old are you again, man?
Younger than you.
I totally forgot that.
25.
How old are you?
I'm
You're in
not
your
20.
30ish, yeah?
He's
Yeah,
33.
33.
You guys.
I asked
kids,
at the beginning of the show.
You
Where
have
were
no.
you?
You're fucking.
I'm a Pisces.
You're Peter Pan over
I'm
there.
30. I'm 30.
You're never gonna grow
I'm
up.
30.
You're probably 800 for all we know. You damn Yoda.
I got so much Botox in
Yeah.
my face, you'll never know.
Alien species hairdresser. I think my hairdresser's an alien. Anyway, what she's probably like. You ever have a thing about you think that guy? He's just got to always move around all the time because he's always looks so the same. And now that social media exists, now he's gonna everybody's gonna know that he's been ancient. He's lived for thousands of years.
Well, that's why that's why I keep changing my number.
That's
and
my new superhero.
email.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
Well, we just gave it out right there, so that can't be true.
No.
Anyway, what the hell were we talking about?
Richard.
How great Richard was. Thanks.
Richard being a bully when he was younger.
Were you a bully? Were you bullied? How much of a
He was a
impact
witness.
did it
He was a
play?
witness.
No, well, let's kind of go back to that little piece maybe before we cut out of here because I think that's important. I'll share my story with you. I was bullied and I was a bully. I had an incident where I was a part of something and I got kicked out of this thing and I was going to be a bad influence on my younger brother. So I chose to move down to Florida to live with my dad because I lived with my mom and my brother up in New York. And I chose to move down to Florida to kind of get away from that. And then when I came down here, had a crazy incident, something that happened. And, I got a call coming in here. Hold on. And so anyway, hey, welcome to WJBW. Who's this? Hey, Greg. How you doing? Thanks for the call. What do you want to talk about?
Greg. What's up, Greg? Where are you calling from, Greg? What do you have to ask, Greg? Tell us. Greg, you there, Greg? Yeah. What were you called, Greg? What word would you wear, Greg?
What would be your word, Greg?
Killer.
Okay, that's all right. I understand. That could hurt.
Why do they call you a stoner, though? What do you, you rock hard?
Okay, well, he's here. Yep. Yep.
Have you seen the series? The series. Did
Have you
see
seen the
photos?
pictures? Some of the. You watched the YouTube video? Okay. Yeah. Okay.
We don't swear online.
Okay. All right.
Well, Greg, we're going to have to cut you off if you keep swearing, Greg, okay? We don't swear on this show.
No, it's okay. It's all right, Greg. We understand. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah, stuff, right.
All right. We can understand why you might be bullied, Greg. You sound a little weird.
So did you have any questions that you think might be able to help you get on in your life, Greg?
Oh, is weird a word?
Weird was one of the words. Yep.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. We were talking. You've been called weird? Yeah, I just called you weird. I didn't realize that. Look at what I just did. Well, you pointed out. You want a model? Oh, for the poster. Oh, do you take people still? Hey, Greg. All right.
I'd love to see what you look like,
Keep
Greg.
it in your pants, Greg.
Where
There.
can we find a picture of you, Greg?
Okay, don't listen to him. All right, don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. Okay. All right.
We'll be doing another series and we'll put a casting call out and you can definitely
Yeah. See? There you go, Greg. There you go. You got it. Okay. Fair enough. All right, Greg. Thank you so much for your call. Thanks for calling in. All right. You keep rocking. Rock forth, Greg.
Thank you, Greg, for calling in.
All right. Rock out. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Swanson.
Rocking it with Greg. That was Greg. That was crazy. Greg Swanson. That was a weird call, wasn't it? Sounds like Greg's been picked on quite a bit.
Yeah.
Throughout Greg's life.
Yeah, sounds like he looks like it.
So
too.
we were going to go to his kind of background before that call came in, if that's awkward. But I was giving you my background. So I moved down to Florida.
Yeah.
So kind of avoided the whole, the whole thing of the cycle of, bullying. Because God, maybe if I would have stayed up there, I, might have been worse person. Who knows? But kind of taking it on the lip at that time at 15. I may have been.
Not so bad.
It was New York.
You're not bad. You're not bad. You're not bad. I'm from Connecticut.
So what was your life? Wow. What was your life like as a young man up north?
Whimsical.
Whimsical?
I do good.
Say it in a word.
I got made fun of. I got called a faggot a lot.
World be like
You know what I'm saying?
in a world.
Oh, no, I'm from Orlando. That's good.
What the hell just happened there? So there we go.
All right.
Richard, what? So tell us a little bit. You were what's kind of your background? You that little middle year there. We just missed that little middle piece, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it was
18. You got out of school, or before you got out of school, issues, problems, blah blah blah.
Yeah, I mean, figuring out how to go to college.
Were you bullied?
No, not really.
Okay.
No.
But you still had negative influences, maybe, or
yeah. I mean, typical kid stuff that I mean, it wasn't. I've gotten into fights and stuff like that. Nothing too crazy, but nothing. Yeah. Nothing insane. But that witnessing. I mean, everyone's witnessed the name calling and the and has done the name calling, like you said. You know, maybe I was bullied a little bit, and maybe I did some bullying myself. Looking back at it, but nothing too crazy. Nothing that ever got me in trouble or
nothing like I just did here, like calling Greg weird. Wow, it really makes me feel bad. Poor
Sound
Greg.
like a weirdo.
That's poor Greg. But it even goes to that extension, though, and that's what I think what you do is great. More power to you. Keep doing it. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me
in the studio, man.
Thanks a lot, Rich. I really enjoyed it.
All right, so what do you got there, buddy?
Spectaclephoto.com. That's where you can find all Rich Johnson's work. You can find any updates on his website and what he's up to next. Twist Show Studio, thank you very much for being a sponsor.
Word to your words.
I'll see everybody May 7th.
Kong. What's your at Twitter at the Prom King?
Yeah, Twitter and
Prom King Kong.
The Prom King Kong.
At the Prom King Kong.
Yes.
You got a tweet box over there?
At Spectacle Photo. At
Spectacle, and I'm at Radio JB Web with 2 B's. And if you want to join up with us there, that's a great way to find out about everything we're doing. Or you can go to these affiliate websites and such. You'll digest as much digital content as you can get inside of you.
Right.
Because that's where the future is. That's where it's at. We appreciate you joining us. WJBWnetworks.com is our primary site. We help to shine lights on talented, deserving people consistently week after week. And this week is surely no exception. So it comes along with a 2-night event here. So even if you're outside of Orlando, keep on Facebook, follow. There's groups, I think, on Facebook, thousands of people strong. Of this sentiment, and you can join those groups. And again, it's if somebody's lashing out you in a wrong way, and social media especially have made it so much easier to document who's doing what and who's the jerk.
Take a picture.
It's kind of easy to document who's the jerk these days.
When you see somebody bullying somebody, take a picture.
Okay, is that your tip of the week there? Anyway, how to be an MC? A little bit to close us out from DJ Rappler and Cypherface. Enjoy. Oh.
Do you want to be an MC or do you want to serve? Do you want to be dope or do you want to deal it? What happened to the music's creative process? The trash on the airwaves is blatant nonsense. It's quite obvious you don't get paid for content. You don't treat the mic like a sacred object. Labels make a profit off the mindless material. Whatever happened to the timeless material? It was replaced by the watered down manufactured music, following the pattern cause the last rapper used it. Big budgets for the artists, marketing campaigns that start flooding up the market. Top 40 demographic candy population, and cause the Soulja Boy's Grammy nomination. Soulless songs, they're all worth the staying hits to me, but ignorant consumers purchase it religiously. I'm serious, homie, I ain't nothing to F with. The real deal, this is just some of my freshness. You gassed up rapper, just a chump with a necklace. Step in the face, you must be wanting a death wish. So listen close to what I say, because this type of shit happens every day. I'ma show you all do you wanna be an MC, or do you wanna serve? Do you wanna be dope, or do you wanna deal it? We're all on the road and we're trying to make moves. Some stay true while others play fools. We're all trying to pay dues, looking to get a break. Some get there quick, others longer than an interstate. Just give me a green light so I can keep going. I can't slow down, man, I gotta keep flowing. You think you're the next star because you got signed? Labels try impeding you, showing you stop signs. Trying to get a major deal, a plan of the past. Some ran out of gas, I gotta man up and last. No heart, no soul is how you rappers write songs. You fall off the stranded with your hazard lights on. Your music dead, no more being that one part. Cause now your career is needing a jump start. Stay in your lane, it's like you're driving with road rage. Frustrated, losing it, you're dying from no pay. When's the last time you heard an instrumental this sick? They bank some school zones of residential districts. My action plan is to make a classic, man. Too many rappers, man, it's worse than a traffic jam. Love for the song, throw your hands in the sky. You got hate in your heart, keep passing me by. Keep it real, watching the field while I bring it back. Yes, back to the school side. Cypher face, y'all. Throw your hands in the sky. You got hate in your heart, yes, y'all. Jay Colombo, the district selectman on the beat.